Hey guys, welcome to Sippin' and Spillin' with Sid from 3 Mississippi. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a good day. Man, we just got back from the meetup, the Mid-America meetup at Eufaula Lake in Oklahoma. And we lucked out. The weather was so nice. We got there Thursday at like 5-ish. And we had really nice weather the whole time we were there until, what was it, Saturday evening. We did get a little storm roll through when we were at dinner. It was like 7 o'clock-ish. Thunder, lightning, some little bouts of heavy rain, but by 8 o'clock it was over. And we had a rest of a nice evening with everybody that night. Went back to our hotel room, and about 3 a.m. it was on like Donkey Kong. And I woke up in a panic because it sounded like, you know how they always tell you if a tornado is coming at you, it sounds like a train? I woke up thinking it sounded like a train. So I immediately grabbed my phone and looked to see if we were under a tornado warning or a tornado watch, and it just said severe thunderstorms. And turns out it was like straight line winds, but they were like 70 miles an hour. And it sounded like the hotel was coming apart around us, and had me a little bit panicked. Come to find out the next morning, the sign for the hotel, it's basically like one of those big metal boxes that's got lights in it, and then it's got like stretched canvas with the name of the inn, you know? It had been shredded in the wind and broke all of the light bulbs in it. And that's really what I was hearing that sounded like it was coming apart, because it was. But it was the sign, which was only, because our room was actually the closest room to that. So it was only, just a stone's throw right there to where that sign was. Luckily, our truck wasn't parked under it or anything like that, so it didn't seem like it made any damage to anything. But it was a little scary. And then we managed to not hit a single storm on the way home. It was clear skies the entire way home, which was nice. We didn't have to, dodge any bad stuff like that. It was kind of heavy traffic while we were on the I-40, and then it had us get off and go kind of a back way down through Arkansas into Mississippi, and we bypassed Tennessee altogether and went down to the Helena Bridge and crossed that instead of the Memphis Bridge, and got through, kind of brought us up towards Sardis area and had us come down through Pontotoc. So it wasn't too bad of a ride home. It felt like a long drive. It felt longer because you were going through like corn rows to get home instead of on the highway. But relatively uneventful drive there and back, which was good. And so far, everybody that's kind of checked in has gotten home safely, which is good. We had, if you've been in some of our lives, you may remember the Williamsons. I kind of actually met them sort of via TikTok. I don't know, I feel like one of their videos crossed my path first, but I could be wrong. And then we just sort of started kind of swapping comments on videos, and then they were kind of checking out our YouTube, and I remember I noticed like a couple of comments on there from them, and then they popped into one of our lives, and we were kind of chatting in the live. And anyway, we started communicating, via email and text and stuff, and then I was like, y'all should come down to the meetup, and because they're kind of newer to this genre of YouTube, and haven't been doing it for very long. And so I was like, this is a good opportunity to kind of see if it's your thing, meet some people that are in it, maybe pick some people's brains, kind of sort of see what the vibe is like, I guess. And they seemed to have a really good time, and everybody was really nice and welcoming. So, and you'll see a little bit of that in the video on 3 Mississippi that comes out on Tuesday, which has the meetup on it. That video, it's funny, this meetup of all the meetups, it was smaller in some ways, I would say. But it was very enjoyable because it was a little mellow, which was nice. In past years, not that they're not enjoyable or mellow, but in past years, sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming. just because I get awkward and shy in front of people, and I never assume that somebody knows who I am. So if I make eye contact with somebody and I smile, it, like, just to be nice and not, just what you do, But I don't necessarily go like, oh, hi, I'm Sid from Through Mississippi, like blah, 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 blah. Unless they come up to me and they're like, oh, are you Sid from, but then I still get kind of awkward. There's really no way around my awkwardness. It just is what it is. But this one was kind of less of that. It was a little more chill as far as the amount of subscribers, I would say, that came. And that's not like a slam by any means. It's just the way it went. I don't know. I don't feel like it got talked up as much as it has in past years. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's just from my perspective, but it was definitely less stressful. I would say it was a little more low key. Got to kind of spend a little bit more one-on-one time with people instead of feeling quite so pulled in a lot of directions at once. So it was, I think, more mellow in that sense. And got to see, everybody from, Mel and Gary and Ann Rocks and David that I don't get to see very often. And Tara, of course, spent a lot of time with Tara and Jason that I don't get to see very often because they're all up in Arkansas. So we don't see them as often as they see each other. So it's kind of nice to be able to see everybody in kind of a chill environment and just sort of be able to hang out. And the lake was beautiful. The area was beautiful. My only complaint was that the room nor the hotel, like even the, what do you call it? Like the little like reception area where they normally would have like their coffee or whatever. I guess their coffee maker was broken, and so you had to go down the street to the gas station to get coffee in the morning. And Mike was giving me a hard time because before we left, he was like, should I bring the Keurig for the room? And I was like, no, they'll have a coffee pot in the room, like every hotel I've ever stayed in. And I thought it said that on the thing, but I guess what it said was coffee in the common area, which I missed. I just saw the coffee and kept reading. But they didn't even have the coffee in the common area. So you had to leave the hotel to go get coffee. So that was Mike's job every morning, was to go get coffee for us and so we could like wake up a little bit, I still feel so tired. I feel like my eyes aren't fully open yet. It's a lot of driving. It was a lot of late nights and, not a lot of sleep. And this week's fixing to be pretty busy, so I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to catch up on sleep, but one of these years, darn it, we'll get some sleep. But we did. We had a great time. Frankie did a really good job taking care of everything while we were gone. All the animals looked good. All the plants looked good. But it was funny because, and I had told Frankie before we left, I said, we're right at that tipping point for the birds and the brooder. I said they're very likely in the next 2 days going to do that thing where they go from looking like a chick to a meat bird. And when I came home and went and checked on everybody, my runner ducks shot up like weeds. I swear they doubled in size in 4 days. They just look like little adult ducks now. They look, So I'm actually going to be moving them, if not tonight, tomorrow morning, or tomorrow at some point, to the main group with everybody else, because they're out of space in the brooder now, just about. So they're ready to go. And I've got one gosling that hatched out. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the gosling on that side, but I'm going to move the chick that is in with the meat birds brooder right now in with the gosling, so that they're together. So neither one is alone. And that one is getting to the point now where it's going to start getting run over by the meat birds. So it's time to scooch that one over. But all my turkeys that I had added out into the yard that I had hatched out, they all blew up. All the laying hens that I just had put out there, they all blew up. So everybody looks big, fat, and healthy and good. So They were all very happy to see me. It was funny when I went out there to check on everybody. I got the full welcome from the geese, from the sheep were yelling at me. Even Sai came running up the pasture to see me and was yelling at me. Um, so they were all very happy to see me. So I was glad about that. And, of course, Mr. Bunko was very happy to see me last night, and so was my inside cat, Marty. He couldn't get close enough to me last night. He wanted to, like meld into me and become one. And anytime I moved in my sleep, he would meow in my face and lick me until I put my arm back around him to cuddle, because he missed me. So he was cute. So we had a great time, and it was nice having just some time, the two of us, and had some nice talks on the drive, and some time just alone, and then got some time with our friends. So it was good. We had a fun time, and uneventful, which is always good. Like, uneventful in the sense that, like, nobody really got hurt. There was no injuries this trip. There was nobody had, like, that I know of anyway, had a car breakdown or anything like that. The only thing I know of was when that storm came through Saturday night, the wee hours of Sunday morning. There were a few people that were tent camping that had some issue, obviously, because 70-mile-an-hour winds with a tent, not ideal. It's not going to end well. And then the awning on Pops's little kind of nugget looking thing broke. I don't know how badly, because we didn't go back to the campgrounds on Sunday morning. We left straight from the hotel. So I don't know how bad it was. Hopefully he was able to pull it out of there. You know how sometimes those awnings break in a way that you got to, like, cut them completely off before you can really take them on the road. But so far so good, And then I'm happy to see more hummingbirds today. I've been complaining the last couple of weeks. I've only had a handful. But my hostas bloomed while we were gone. A bunch of my flowers and things bloomed while we were gone. And so, which is nice, because now the hummingbirds are really coming in. So, but I am starting to see a few more wasps now too. So they arrived later in the season this year. So we'll see. Hopefully I did enough to deter them from, like, coming under here and whatever this year. I put some of that spray out that's supposed to help with that around the perimeter of everything. And it's supposed to last for, like, a while. So in theory, they should leave us alone over here on the porch and not try to build any nests under here or anything. But it was nice to see all the plants doing well and blooming, and some more birds. And we've got a swallow that's made a nest somewhere over here, and they come through the porch a lot. So, hey, bud. So that's kind of neat to see. Haven't seen, some hummingbirds just zipped right in front of me. I don't know if the camera caught that, but just zipped right by. But yeah, so kind of neat to see them. Used to seeing those in California. We have the famous San Juan Capistrano swallows, and so it's kind of nice to see some of them here. It's kind of neat. And I don't remember seeing them. I feel like I would remember seeing them around here the last couple years. But this is my first year really noticing them anyway, or the first year that they've built a nest, like, where they're basically putting themselves on display for me. So, and then my little nesting box that's over by my elderberries, there were some bluebirds in there that hatched shortly before we left. And so that was kind of fun to hear them in the little box and see the mom going in and out and everything. So it's kind of neat. But the yard needs mowed now, because we had a lot of rain before we left, and Mike had mowed it right before the rain. And then now we've had a couple days here. Well, there was one storm that passed through while we were gone, but now it's nice and sunny out. And so the grass is gone. So I don't know. I know he's off today, and I know he has a bunch he wants to do in the garden and stuff, but I don't know if he's maybe later today. He might try to get some of this mowed before we get hit with more rain the rest of this week. There's a few days. I know this weekend it's supposed to storm, and I think a couple of times during this week, but the ground may still be too wet to mow. That's the other problem you get into, is this section right up towards the house tends to get really marshy, and you can't take the mower over it. It's just gonna sink right in, because it's like you walk on it and you sink. It's just the way the ground is right there. So I don't know. He may or may not be able to mow. He might have to wait another week, but by then it's going to be, up to your eyeballs. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see. But I have a ton of work to do. I've got a sponsorship video that I have to film this week for Friday, and a lot of just kind of things to catch up on here after being gone for a few days, and got some editing to do today to get tomorrow, Tuesday's video out for 3 Mississippi about the meetup. So I'm gonna have my hands full today for sure, but I'm ready to get after it and get everything done. So anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. I appreciate you. I hope you had a good weekend, and as always, stay blessed, and remember, safety's off.